name is Sami Kompo. I'm a captain on the Citation Ultra and now I guess the Encore since we've expanded our fleet. I started in August of 2018 as a first officer on the Citation Ultra, and then I upgraded to captain in March of 2020, and then recently I started doing some training with the new pilots. I would say what inspired me to become a pilot was pretty plain and simply my brother. I had started to kind of question what I wanted to do with a career after I finished school, and I kind of was wondering whose life did I like and where did I think I kind of wanted to go with it, and I just kind of realized that I thought he led a pretty interesting life, so I decided to take a flight a little bit as a joke and then found out that I really loved it. My first flight that I would have piloted was the 14th of May 2016. I remember very specifically because I remember when I went, the instructor was making me do the walk around. The reality is he had already done a walk around. He's just trying to make me feel good. And I remember feeling like a complete imposter. I was like, I shouldn't be here. This is awful. I felt so like off. I kind of just wanted to turn around right there, and I had like a really good feeling to say, you know what, like let's just go back to the ramp. Like I don't know what I was thinking. And then the second we took off, it was like the coolest feeling I've ever had. And I remember looking out the window and we passed the tree level, and I was like, no, I was like, I think that actually, like this actually is for me. And then we started doing steep turns and stuff, and I was so hooked. But those first 20 minutes, if I had given up right then, I would have never gotten back in the plane. And then 6 years later, here we are. Often, like when we do the safety briefing or whatever, they'd kind of like make a comment about, oh, like female pilot. And he'd be like, yeah, it's my sister up there. And then passengers would love it. They'd get like super excited. They're like, oh, no way. And it's funny, every single passenger, the first thing they'd say, they'd be like, don't fight up there. Every single person I've ever flown. And I was like, don't worry, we save that for the car ride home. Like we don't beat each other up in the cockpit. That's an outside thing.
So my name is Caitlyn Macgillivray, and I'm a first officer on the Citation Ultra and Encore. I think what drew me to the company is just the progression, like the fleet that we do have. There's a lot of other jets you can get on after the Ultra, Encore, etc. I didn't really know much about corporate aviation, like before starting here. And then kind of a few months prior when I was, looking around at other jobs, just looking at the fleet, the global really, caught my eye. That'd be a good one to go to for sure. Well, I actually come from a family of pilots, which I know is pretty common. And just like always growing up kind of in the industry, it always seemed attractive to me. My first flight in a small like Cessna, like a 172, would have been way back in high school. This old aircraft that my dad had purchased and was refurbishing. After school, I remember it was in the fall and just a beautiful sky clear day. My dad had me starting it up and everything and awkwardly working the radios before I knew what the phonetic alphabet was. He was like, just repeat after me. So the whole experience was just kind of probably what made me end up where I am today. And here I am now, living that dream.
My advice to women in aviation isn't necessarily related specifically to business aviation, more just aviation in general. You do have to have a thick skin. However, I've actually felt nothing but support from fellow male pilots pretty much my entire career. I know when I started, like my parents were a little bit concerned that I would feel slightly like, a bit of an outcast, and I can honestly say I've never felt like that. If anything, whenever I see a male pilot, they're always extremely supportive. Passengers will often kind of make comments, but it's more out of a curiosity thing. It's more just kind of, they're not used to seeing it. And in all fairness, I mean, we are still quite the minority, so it isn't shocking that people find it a little bit strange to see a female pilot. But by the end of the flight, I've never had anybody be anything but like, oh, great job, like that was really fun. I think that's kind of the great thing about aviation, that it doesn't necessarily matter, like everyone I know kind of has different skill sets. It's more, the only thing I think you really need to do this job is that you have to absolutely love aviation. You have to love flying. You have to be really tenacious.
I've been lucky to have a lot of mentors in the industry and a lot of people there to support me. If you can help other people as much as like they've helped you, I think that like will help you be successful. Basically just always sharing your experiences, learning from others' mistakes. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I think those sorts of things. If you can find yourself a good support group, I think it'll help you out a lot in the career.
I don't know, I think I like the fact, like in corporate aviation, that like every day is different. I kind of like the fact that you wake up and you never really know where you're going to go, but you never know if you're going to end the day in Florida or Bahamas or back in Toronto, so I think that's pretty fun. I end up going to the gym quite a bit. I like going to dinners with friends, and yeah, you just kind of have to use your free time to catch up on your social life and your personal life, because oftentimes when you are flying, you get very focused and kind of involved in this world. So yeah, just catching up with people and seeing family and spending time outside.
We do work a lot, and when you're working, you're very go, go, go. Everyone I've flown with so far, Sydney being one of the captains I've flown with, it's just been a really positive experience overall. And I think as long as you come in there with a positive attitude and a willingness to always improve yourself and learn more, just come in and want to work like a team, I think you'll be successful.